Thank you, Stacy. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to today's webinar, What's New in AEM? I don't think I'm lying when I say that today's webinar is the most exciting webinar for AEM we've ever done. This is such a, there's so much exciting stuff to talk about today, so thank you for joining, and will definitely be worth your time. If you look at what we're going to do today, it's actually three different parts. First, I want to talk about our patch release, the 2016-3 release. After that, I'm going to talk about what's after that release. It's our big monitoring release. And then the third bit is Q&A. So typically with webinars like these, we take a lot of time to answer all your questions. So feel free, like Stacy said, to raise them in the chat and Q&A. So let's just get started. I think this has been the third or fourth of these webinars that we've done in the last year, and we always start by setting out our priorities. What we aim to do with AEM is quite simple. We want to make the best RMM and easiest to use RMM product in the marketplace. When you look at all the things we've been doing in the last 18, 24 months, it's all about making people more effective, enhancing all the core RMM capabilities, and also, of course, deepening the Autotask PSA integration. All of that doesn't really matter if we're not available, so we have this continuous effort going on to make sure we have this amazing uptime. So always on is always one of our key drivers. If you look back just at the last 12 months, it's been such an impressive year for AEM. And sometimes you forget about that, like when you're just working day to day and you're working on a project and you look at like that specific week, then you tend to forget the bigger picture. But if you look at the last 12 months for AEM, it's been significant. We've had 4 major releases. So, for example, a year ago, we didn't have the ESXi integration. We didn't have VMware. We didn't have the advanced Autotask integration. That all launched in that period. So we've added Webroot, a Kaspersky refactor. We've done a complete product reskin, added monitoring maintenance windows, added importable policies, deeper audit, new filters, and now today we're adding a major, announcing a major refactor of our patch management capabilities. So we're adding a lot of new features that a lot of you are waiting for, I think. So what is it that we're adding? What is it that we're changing? A lot of different things, mainly centered around patch management. And for your information, just today we started rolling this version out. So our first platform, West Coast US, has been upgraded to 2016-3 and can already start using the new capabilities. And over the next 2 weeks, we'll be rolling it out for the rest of the world. So this major release will include the following. We are introducing local caching for patches, so new distribution points to make sure networks don't need as much bandwidth for those major big updates that Microsoft now ships. The whole patch system has been refactored from the ground up. So we introduced new logic for patch approvals, and we're making it easier for people managing large quantities of networks or customers to manage the exceptions there. So one of the big challenges, and we all know that for patch management, is that it's hard to standardize. There are always exceptions. Sometimes there is a single patch that you just can't approve because it will break some third-party application. Sometimes it's about the timing. I mean, for a lot of networks, it sounds all right to deploy everything on Saturday, but if for example, your customer is a bar or a restaurant, Saturday is a particularly bad time. So you need to manage all those exceptions. And what we're doing with this release is giving our customers a lot more control over what gets installed and when. Next to that, we're also bringing in a lot more information into our platform. So patch activity, everything that happens on the endpoint is going to be brought back to the platform. So you can better troubleshoot, you can better analyze what exactly was going on, but also we're able to provide you with better reporting and just visibility, dashboards, etc. We have also made many changes to our power management capabilities. So we're introducing Wake-On-Lan on the patch management policy, and we're adding branded reboot notifications. So when you're patching your users, you can allow them to control whether or not they want to reboot. There's even more in this release. This is such a significant release. There are enhancements for our file manager, and disk information tool is something we've added to the so-called agent browser, so the remote support tools that we offer. We've added a couple of new different reports, 3 of them, and I'll be talking you through a number of them. And also added this very useful small addition. It's called ComStore notifications. So as soon as we update or publish new components in our ComStore, you'll get a message. So there's like as soon as we ship something very useful or we upgrade our latest Flash updater, you'll know about it, and you can patch your customers, or you can start using this great new component that we delivered without you having to search for it every day. So amazing release. Like with every release, there are a ton of other fixes and enhancements that we're doing. Please check our documentation for the detailed release notes. So let's dive into this a bit deeper. And the best place to start is the patch policy. This is significantly enhanced. It looks familiar for most of our customers, but you'll also see a lot of new different things here. Let me highlight a few. So the first bit here is the local caching. Local caching didn't exist for patches in the past, and now, based on a policy, you can enable it. Our customers can enable it for everyone, but only if a local cache is present in a network, we will use it. And a local cache is something, it's like a role you can enable for any agent, Windows agent in the network, and that will, in that case, work as a distribution point. You don't have to do anything like file sharing or mapping or creating user accounts, as sometimes is the case with other technologies. This is very straightforward. You just enable it on the policy, and when a cache is available, we will use it, and if not, we'll just go to Microsoft. You can block that if you don't want that to happen, but that's what you control over here. The next bit in the patch approval, the next bit is the patch approval part of the policy. This has been completely redone. However, if you had configurations already in your system, we will migrate this over, so you won't see any problems with this bit. But this allows you to set up certain rules and say, I want to always approve my security patches or my critical patches, but I never want to approve certain other types of patches or individual patches. The not approves will always take preference, and this is how you control what you want to get installed. With this release, we're introducing a new patch state, available, approved, and not approved. And as such, we can give you much better visibility if something that's missing on a machine is deliberate or because it just didn't run any patch policies yet. So that's the patch approval. And then moving on to our power management. We've added a number of different options here. You can wake all your machines, targeted devices, 10 minutes before the policy is about to run. So we send them a Wake-On-Lan command, and if they're capable of receiving this, they will wake up and be ready when you want to start installing patches. And also we've made some changes to the reboot controls over there. So now you can enable, you can, for example, have in your policy for servers, will reboot all of them automatically, but for your workstations, you will show your users a branded notification box. It is branded, so you can upload your own logo, and then the notifications will be displayed with your logo, and people can dismiss it, and then it will show up again if you want to. So you have some settings to control that. So it will look like this, and then you say postpone, and it will come back and come back and come back and come back until it will be rebooted. So very, very nice, useful additions over there in the patch policy. So that's where you control all your patch management. In the Manage tabs, you get this much enhanced visibility on what's going on with patches in the network or for all your networks on the account level. We're introducing this new state, approved pending patches, so you get a clear visibility on what actually is missing that you want to have on those machines. And you can filter on that using the graph icon below. So you can only, for example, see only your servers and then the approved pending patches there. The policies below will list what policies are targeted to this site or to all your accounts, and you will clearly see what devices are targeted, when it will run next, but also if a policy is overridden or not. That little icon on the left is for me is an indication if the policy has been overridden, and that is something you can do for every customer or every network. You can just override a specific part of the patch policy. For example, the window when you want to get the patches installed, or perhaps you want to deny a specific patch. But all the other settings will remain intact, and that allows you to do much more control and work on the highest level, and it allows you to scale much easier. So you don't have to worry about the individual networks anymore. And then on the right over there are a couple of new actions. The first two icons will give me control of or visibility of what has just happened. That's the hourglass. The calendar will give me this visibility over here, what will get installed in the next patch window. So easy for me to predict what machines will be targeted with what patches. I can perhaps even tune it a bit if I need to. And the other icons over there is to configure what machines are targeted and to run the patch policy now. That's something new as well. We used to have something we called Quick Patch, which was a completely separate patch system. That is gone now. Everything you do is based on a policy. And what you can do with that little icon is force the policy to run now without impacting the whole schedule. Very useful if you need to deploy an emergency patch, for example. And this information is also present at the device level. So I'm looking at the Manage tab for a single device right now, and you'll clearly see what policies have been targeted to this device, and you have the Run Now icon as well. So if this device, for example, has, like in this example, is missing 160 patches, only 8 of them are installed, and 74 are denied, I can press the Run Now button, and it will install all those patches now, and I don't have to wait for next week, Tuesday. Very useful. And like I said, we're also bringing in a lot more information into the product. So when you look at the activity section of a device, you'll be able to see all the patches that have been installed. You'll see if they were installed successfully, when they started, when they finished installing, what policy did the work, and you can even click on the standard out over there. So if you need to troubleshoot for whatever reason, you click there, and you have all this patch run information. So where did it get the patch from? How long did it install? Was there a reboot required? What was the end result? Very, very useful information for people analyzing and troubleshooting. This kind of information is now also available in a new report. We have a patch activity report that will show you the information for a customer, for a site. What patches were installed, when did Microsoft publish this patch, that's one of the columns over there, and when did you install it. So it's a great way of showing activity, not just the state, but also the activity, everything you've done. There's another new report. It's not related to Microsoft patching, but this report, in addition to the changes we've made to our ComStore notification, will help you deliver a better third-party patch service. So applications like Java, and Flash, and Skype, and Chrome are listed here for all your Windows, Mac, and Linux devices, and will list the version they have installed. So you can clearly, like in one view, see if all your machines are running the correct version, if they have it installed at all, and it will help you manage this so much better than you would used to. So again, very nice new report that you can use. There's more. The file manager, very popular request. We've seen it come up many times in our community. We've added the capability. We've added a number of capabilities to the file transfer tool we've had, and we now call it file management. You can create folders, rename files, cut, copy, paste, all kinds of useful things. So there's less need to interrupt the user and remote control his machine. Great new features. Okay, wow. Hopefully you're as impressed as I am. I mean, it's such a major release. It's the biggest one we've ever done. Like I said in the beginning, we're rolling out. We started today, and rolling out over the next couple of weeks, depending what platform you're using. Amazing release. Now, this also, of course, raises the question, what's next? We've been talking about patch management for a while. Many people want to know what's next. What are you guys working on? And that's what I'm going to talk about now. When you look at what our plans are for the next period, it's this list. It's network management, monitoring, but also a macOS browser, reporting flexibility, enhancements to our API, and a deeper PSA integration. And what I want to talk about today is those first items, monitoring and network management, because that's going to be our next release. We call it 2017-1 because it's going to be the first release of the next year, and it's also called the monitoring release. Like our current release, the one we're rolling out right now, is called the patch release. This one is called the monitoring release. This is going to be, I would say, even probably a bigger one or more impressive one to the patch release. It's always everything that's around the corner is always the most impressive thing. I'm really excited about this one. When you look at our goals for this release, it's the following. First, we want to enhance our monitoring functionality for both the agent and network devices. That means we're going to take a look at all the existing monitors, but we're also looking at what is it that we need to do for our customers, what are the most popular feature requests, and what do we need to do to bring network monitoring up to a higher level. The second thing that we want to do here in this release is provide you better visibility on both alert information as well as monitor status, so you can better detect and see what is going on currently. And the third thing for this release is the capability, introduce the capability to remote control any device out there. So not just agent-based devices, but any device. So those are the goals. Let me just walk you through this. But before I do, let me give you a disclaimer first. Everything I'm going to show you in the next couple of slides is work in progress. We're working really hard on these, but all the things that I'm going to show you here might change, might look a bit different in practice that I'm going to show you right now. So just a short disclaimer. Now let's move on. What is it that we're doing? First, let me start with this screen over here. This is what we call account-wide alert visibility. It's a dashboard, more or less. You log in to AEM and you see this. This screen over here will tell you immediately if you need to do something. It's actionable. On the right side you see all open alerts sorted by severity. So you can list all your customers or sites by critical or high alerts, and they will be listed on the top, and you click on that and you immediately dive into those alerts. So as soon as you log in, the system comes to life and you know whether or not it's going to be a good day or a bad day. Really nice addition, I'm thinking. The next bit I want to talk about is just monitoring in general and network device management. What we're going to do in this release is take a look at the whole process from beginning to end with regards to network devices, like when do you find them, how do you find them, how do you add them, how do you apply monitoring to them, and how do you make sure they're functioning okay, and how do you troubleshoot them if not. And that all starts with discovery. And what we're doing in this release is changing how we present discovered information. Like what you're seeing here is information grouped by device type. And you can also quickly add many different types of devices in one go. So you still deploy a single agent in a network. It will scan the whole network, and you select all the machines or devices that you find, add them to your system in a single go. Much easier. We will also find more devices. So one of the things we're changing is we're giving you the option to add additional IP ranges. We see more and more customers use VLANs, so they have multiple, like segmented their network into multiple VLANs. Sometimes it's hard for an agent to look into those other VLANs. And this enhancement that we're planning will allow you to provide additional subnets on a site level. Our agent will scan when it's doing the network scan and to present those information in your Discovery tab. And then network management. when you add a network device, for example, what I'm looking at right now, a NAS device, but you can apply the same logic to routers or switches or UPS devices, anything. When you add one of those devices, we're going to do a whole lot more. So that starts with device audit. We want to give you a better and deeper understanding of what's going on with the device. What kind of device is it exactly? That also allows us to do better filtering for those devices. So we will be able to give you a filter listing all the Cisco routers that you are managing. And as a result, we can then apply SNMP policies to them. We will make policies available in our COM store. And as such, as soon as you add a router just from the discovery, we will apply the best practice monitoring automatically. And last but not least, we're going to be able to present you the current state of the monitoring that you have applied. So what is the latest value? So instead of being alert driven, you can also just look at a device and ease your mind. Is it still performing okay? Are all my monitors working? Is that value still present at that device? Really important information. We're gonna capture that as soon every single time a monitor check runs. We're gonna update our platform and we're gonna present that in a trend over there. But also we're gonna be able to show you a bit more detailed information. Really impressive. So moving on, we're adding and working a lot on the existing monitors that we have, but we're also adding a number of highly advanced monitors to the system. And this SNMP monitoring example is a great example of this. It's highly advanced. We're planning to do things like result calculation or translation, and this allows us to do much deeper monitoring to any network device. It will be applied based on a policy, so again, you don't have to do it individually for every device. But this kind of logic is also something we're going to apply to our new WMI monitor. WMI, of course, Windows metric instrumentation will allow you to do deep monitoring for any Windows device. For example, SQL monitor or disk queue monitoring or Exchange or Hyper-V, that's all available in WMI, and we're going to be able to give you direct access to that, so you don't need to run scripts or write components to be able to talk to that. It's just much more native and elegant approach. We're introducing a new ping monitor. Ping is such a powerful tool. If implemented properly, it will tell you not only if a device is offline, but also will tell you about latency if done correctly, or packet loss, and that's exactly what we're doing. So we're gonna monitor all those kind of things, and we're looking at the existing monitors as well. And the best example of that is the event log monitoring capability. We're gonna refactor that. We're gonna look at different kind of log files. We're gonna filter a bit smarter, but also introducing a few new options, like being able to alert when something doesn't happen, or when an event only alert when an event is triggered 10 times in a day or in an hour. Really nice additions to the event log capabilities of the product. Okay, so that leaves monitoring or that's what I wanted to share about monitoring. In my introduction, I also mentioned that we're doing all this work on remote control of any device, and this is such an exciting feature. Everybody that we've showed this to loves this. So what we're planning to do is allowing for a seamless connection to any managed network device directly from our web portal or from the agent browser. Much like what you're doing right now with VNC, RDP, or Splashtop, we want to give that kind of capability to network devices. There are so many network devices out there that have like a web interface or a secure shell interface, and sometimes you just want to check something or make an adjustment, and right now you're forced to set up a VPN connection or perhaps remote control another device and then open the browser from there. And we want to give you a much more elegant approach there. So directly from the UI, you are going to be able to control those devices. And every time you do so, like with a remote control session, the connections are logged. So you do have a perfect track record of who has accessed a certain device. Let me give you a few examples of what that's going to look like. Within the UI, we're changing how you launch those actions a bit. This is a mock-up of the new remote actions menu, and for any device you can just click or hover over this hamburger menu, and you're going to be able to fire up the remote control session. In this case, HTTP or Telnet or SSH or custom. Similar kind of functionality is available on network devices. So in this case, my ESXi host, we're going to have the same options for other devices as well. And as soon as you click there, it will launch the agent browser. And the agent browser, of course, very familiar, will give you this control of perhaps some final adjustments. Perhaps we will populate the IP and port by default, but perhaps for this device, the SSH port is not the default one, it's a different one. Perhaps you need to use a different IP. So you can change that, and you can save that so it remembers that for the next time, and it will then, as soon as you click start, connect through a network node in the network and open, in this case, PuTTY automatically. So you're connected instantly. Great user experience. One of the other icons you'll see on the left side as well is the browser icon. When you click that, similar thing happens. You can still change the port or perhaps the URL a bit, and then you say connect, and we're gonna give you the browser, and you're gonna be able to make that change to the printer or the switch or the storage device, all directly from AEM. And then the third option that we're gonna offer you is the custom connection. So, for example, with vSphere, you right now need to install that at every single site if you need to manage your VMware environment. With this new tunnel that we're going to set up, you're going to be able to just use the local installation and just have it talk to the remote VMware environment without having to install it there. So it's very convenient. We will just set up a tunnel from one port to you locally, and you don't ever need to set up a VPN connection again. So that's network management and network monitoring, and we're bringing in a lot more information, and we're actually bringing up network management is now going to be up to the same level as our agent management. So discover, audit, manage, support, monitor, all those functionalities we're going to offer to all devices. So it's really, again, unified endpoint management. That's the monitoring release. 2017-1. I'm very excited about that. Of course, you're going to have to wait a bit for this. We're working really hard. For some of you, you're already going to be able to use our patch release today because we've just deployed it. Others will have to wait perhaps a week or two, but again, amazing release. We're really happy with this. And like I said in the introduction, we are on a really good pace with AEM. We've done 4 major releases in the last 12 months. And we have all intentions of keeping this going and looking at all the individual parts of the product and making them better and making them more useful. And we do this by just talking to you as well. We're very much a customer-driven product. So please come to our community, interact with us there. We're always there listening to you, trying to understand what it is we need to do. So go to aemcommunity.autotask.com. For that kind of interaction and leave your feedback. But also, if you want to know more about our upcoming releases, check autotaskstatus.net. You'll get updates as soon as your platform gets the new version. And all the release notes, including all the individual fixes as well, and all the additional documentation is available on our help page, help.aem.autotask.net. That's all I wanted to say today. As you can tell, I'm clearly excited. I hope you are too. It's going to be an amazing release, -3, 2017-1 as well. And let's do some Q&A. If you have questions, put them into the Q&A panel or in the chat, and me and Stacy will look at them and try to answer all of them